Hey, everybody. Hope you had a happy 4th, a great 4th, a good weekend. And here we are rolling right along into the second week of July. How the heck are you? Welcome to If You Don't Like That. Good to be with you. NBA Summer League begins this week. We have got the Kings news where Dennis Schroeder is officially a Sacramento King. And the Kings will roll on now, getting a chance to see their two rookies and the rookie from last year, Devin Carter in Summer League. Don't be concerned about the scores of the games or anything like that. The only thing that matters is how those three look. Nothing else matters. And anyone that tells you anything differently, you're kidding yourselves. Doesn't matter whether you win or lose. Okay, games are absolutely 100% meaningless, with the exception of three things: Carter, Clifford, Reynaud. That's it. Nothing else matters. All right. If you want to get in on the program, you can do so. You can hit me up. All right. Would love to have you on right here. If you don't like that, you can use the QR code above my shoulder, whatever is easier for you. And again, I'd love to have you on. All right. Very easy to do. Very easy to do. Would love to have you on here. If you don't like that, you've got the link. You've got everything else that you need. You can hit me up on the chat line, whatever the case is. I'm curious, did anyone go to the Giants-A's games this past weekend? And I'm just curious, how was that? All right? How was that? Congratulations to Logan Webb, his second All-Star appearance for the Giants, the local product from Rockland. And very happy for that news whenever you see a local athlete excelling and doing so well. So good job there by Logan Webb to make an all-star for the second year in a row. And of course, he was on the hill on, I think, Saturday against the A's. So I'm just curious if you had a chance to go to see the A's and the Giants this weekend. What was that atmosphere like? So not a lot going on right now. We're getting ready for the Open Championship, which is right around the corner. The Celebrity Golf Tournament in Lake Tahoe. It's now the slow time of the year, obviously with the exception of Summer League. But this is when things cool down until NFL training camps open later this month. How good does that sound? And then before you know it, you'll get into the preseason schedule, Labor Day weekend, and then we're rolling with the start of the National Football League. Can't wait. Can't wait. What about the three-way deal that we saw in the NBA? It sees Norman Powell go to the Miami Heat. I think that's a really good move for Miami. I really do. John Collins goes to the Clippers. The Jazz get, they're all about the future right now. The Jazz are going to be awful this year. But I'm telling you, give Danny Ainge an opportunity. All right. Give Danny Ainge an opportunity and look out. He'll build a winner there. He'll build a winner there. So Dennis Schroeder, the point guard now for the Sacramento Kings, 3 years, the third year partially guaranteed. The Kings used part of their trade exception from the Kevin Huerter deal to make this all work. It was technically a sign and trade with a couple of draft picks going back and forth. And the Kings now will be interesting to see what they do. I'm hearing a lot about the Jonathan Kuminga rumors. I told you I don't pay attention to rumors. Just like I told you I didn't pay attention to Malik Monk going to Detroit. Well, why didn't I pay attention to that? It's very simple, because it didn't make any sense. That's why. You're going to give up Malik Monk to get Dennis Schroeder? Like, why would you do that for? Like, again, I talk about what makes sense. Okay? If it doesn't make sense, I don't pay attention to it. Period. Like, I'm not trading Keegan Murray to the Warriors for Jonathan Kuminga. I'm just not. Again, these rumors have to make sense. If they don't make sense, I don't pay any attention to them. And when I heard Malik Monk as part of the sign and trade for Dennis Schroeder, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make your team better. Like, why would you do that for? Because you have some other great home run that's plan B that once you trade Monk, then you get Schroeder and someone else? Well, if that home run is Russell Westbrook, I'm sorry, that doesn't entice me at all. It doesn't excite me at all. I still think the Kings right now, again, right now, today, without knowing how the rookies are going to look in Summer League, are at best, eighth in the West. That's best case scenario. There are so many teams that are so far in front of them right now that, I mean, I'm being realistic here. I'm being realistic. Look at all the teams in the West that have apparently, and again, you say apparently because you don't know, got significantly better with the draft and free agency or trades. And then there's Dallas. And then what about Memphis? Is Portland going to take a jump and be ahead of Sacramento this year? Other than the Jazz, and I would say the Pelicans, who are the Kings better than in the West? Right? Seriously. James says it might not mean anything to fans, but it means something to those players who's trying to make a living in Summer League. I didn't say it. Well, first of all, you're right. And I think it does mean something to the fans because there's a lot of fans that go to Vegas to watch the games. But yeah, of course it means a lot to the players. That's obvious. Very true. Very true. I've covered Summer League for many, many, many years. And I think the games are unbelievably boring. Very boring. Like really boring. Most of the players on the court, you don't even know who they are. Most of the players on the court are never going to step onto an NBA floor. And you put all of that money and effort. Sometimes you only have one rookie. In this case, the Kings have two, and for all intents and purposes, three with Devin Carter. So at least you got something to look at this year with three young players. So at least for this year, you know, it's worth watching Summer League to see whether or not those players belong. I don't know yet. And I probably won't know for several more months, but at least I'll have a better idea after watching Clifford and Reynaud play in Summer League. Because if they don't look good against basically non-NBA competition, then they're not going to look good when they get onto the floor with the big boys. So we'll see. If Zion plays 70 games, I think the Pelicans could be better than the Kings. Well, considering that Zion can't come close to playing 70 games, I don't know why you would say that. And I know you said if, but there's nothing that I've seen in Zion Williamson's career that would make me believe that he's going to play 70 games. Just don't see it. Vegas has us better than the Suns, Jazz, Portland, and New Orleans. Maybe. I would say I would agree with the Suns and the Jazz. I wouldn't agree with Portland, with New Orleans maybe. Suns are going to be close. I don't know about that yet. All right. If Zion plays 50, the Pelicans are better. No, they're not. They're not better. Did you see they don't have CJ McCollum anymore? So that right there makes the Pelicans not as good as the Kings because he kills the Kings every time he plays them. Hey, Grant, how's it going? Give me something positive for the new season. They're not going on strike. How's that for you? That's positive, right? I mean, you never know. You have to wait and see how the rookies do. Scott Perry still is probably not done. Not probably. He's not done. I think there are going to be other moves. You know, my big issue is, what about DeMar DeRozan? Are you going to be able to move DeMar DeRozan? Miami doesn't look like it's a suitable team anymore. A lot of teams have already made moves. Are you going to not be able to move DeMar DeRozan, because I thought that was like on the checklist this offseason was to, move DeMar DeRozan. But now I don't see that. Obviously, Zach LaVine, no one's taken that contract. 2 years, almost $100 million. I don't see that. You know, I think when you look at the West and you look at the elite team, see, here's the teams I still don't know about yet. The Lakers, I think, are better than the Kings, and then the Warriors. Like, are the Warriors, like, how many games is Steph Curry going to play this year? How many games Draymond Green going to play? The Warriors to me are a team in flux right now. We'll see. We'll see. What if LaVine plays 70%? What do you mean, what if he plays 70%? I heard that Malik Neighbors said Cody had an amazing season with Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, and Tommy DeVito throwing the ball. What do you expect from Russell Wilson? I think the Giants are going to be a much improved team this year because I think they're going to have a top 10 defense in the NFL. But they have the toughest schedule in the NFL going by win-loss percentage from a year ago. They play in a very difficult division where I think Washington and Philadelphia will be battling it out. Dallas you never know about. But they have an absolutely brutal schedule. I mean, they are upgraded at quarterback. But defensively is where they're going to be really good. They should be really good. They got an excellent defensive line. They shored up their secondary. Their defense has a chance to be a top 10 defense. But, offensively still not there yet because of their offensive line. Wilson is certainly an upgrade. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, Malik Neighbors is a special talent. That's for sure. That's for sure. Said the market is soft. Doesn't look like DeRozan is going anywhere during this free agency. We'll see. Again, it's still July. I keep telling everyone that it's July. Right? What is today? July 7th? Again, the season doesn't begin until October. Always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind New Works Plumbing. When you need a plumbing repair, you have a plumbing issue, New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. And remember, they're available around the clock 24/7. So give them a call. Go to their website or newworksplumbing.com, which I use, NEWWRXplumbing.com. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you. It'll be interesting, though, to watch how the draft picks do in Summer League. And, again, whether they look comfortable and whether they look like they belong. All right? That's the key. Do they look like they belong on the floor? Someone talking to Patrick that they don't think the Kings will win 30 games at this point. I think they'll win 30 games. I don't think they'll win 40, but I think they'll win 30. We'll see. How do I feel about the Clippers? They are a bit strapped down with Kawhi and Harden, and the team just seems a bit old. Regular season, they're going to be better than Sacramento. Playoffs, you got James Harden, you're not going to win. But I like the moves they've made. They're definitely better than Sacramento. Even the Raiders, who was a gimme on the Jinx schedule, has Carroll, Gino now. We'll see. Clifford reminds me of a mix of Kuzma and Keegan. He doesn't remind me of anything because I haven't seen him play yet. I mean, I'm sorry. He doesn't. Can we get him on the floor first, please, before he reminds you of somebody? McLean, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you today?
Oh, I as I said last week, Jonas was my favorite player. Now he's gone, and I don't know if you read. Did you see he is gonna looks like he's going to Europe?
Now, Denver said that they expect him to honor his contract and stay in Denver, so that's going to get very tricky.
I hope he stays because at least I can see him play on the road when he comes to Sacramento. But yeah, other than that, I've been doing okay. I wanted to kind of politely rebuttal you about Draymond Green and DeMarcus Cousins kind of being in the same category, if you don't mind.
Well, they're only in the same category in terms of the number of technicals they got, but they're definitely not in
Sure.
the same category in terms of being a team player, not being completely destructive to the organization and coaching staffs
Agreed.
and things like that.
You know what Draymond Green reminds me of, and I don't know if you know hockey very well, but do you remember a player named Claude Lemieux?
Of
He
course.
he reminds me of Claude Lemieux. He was a dirty player, but you needed him to win, and when he was dirty, it was calculated. If that makes sense. Um,
Claude Lemieux was a great player, and he was great in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, the
yes,
guy gave you everything he had every game and was a winner. So, yeah, I understand. That's a good
I
analogy.
see him as like Draymond Green. I feel like when he stomped on Sabonis, I felt like that kind of changed the series. Um, I, how many off they had? Looney had what 20 offensive rebounds in Game 7,
Yes.
and I feel like that had to be because Sabonis was a little bit banged up, and so it just and also Sabonis was getting better in Game 2, and it just I don't know it like I said, it was so calculated. That's just the type of player Green is, and I agree with you about the Demarcus Cousins. I just the problem with
There's
Demarcus
no
Cousins,
debate on DeMarcus Cousins. He was the most destructive player in the history of the Sacramento Kings organization.
he, and
All
it's
right, I'm
so
just telling you,
frustrating.
I was there for every single year except for the first three. He was the
It's
most
so
destructive player in the history of the franchise.
I agree, and it's so frustrating because if he had so much talent, but he didn't have that compete or want to win. He was
Yeah,
so
I'm
worried about
done
other
talking about
things.
him. We don't need to talk about him anymore. He's
Anyway,
not in the league.
anyway,
It's not worth the time.
I hope you have a good day and
Thank you.
enjoy the Open. It's this week, right?
Next week.
Oh, next week. Okay. Well, anyway, have a good day. It's good to hear from you, and I'll see you later.
Sounds good. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, if you want to get in on the show, you can do so. But as far as Draymond Green goes, I mean, you can't take away his rings. I'm not a fan of the guy, but I do acknowledge, I mean, he's a player that has been an integral part of them winning championships. So, I mean, I can't take that away from him as much as I dislike the guy. And I think the guy is got a lot of issues, but I can't take that away from him. That's for sure. All right, so I'm curious. Any of you right now? Was anyone at the A's and the Giants over the weekend? Just curious what that atmosphere was like. All right. Jackson says I should have more faith in the Kings. No, I shouldn't. I can have whatever I want, Jackson. If you don't agree, then don't agree. I don't have to have any faith in the Kings. I'm a realist, Jackson. I'm not. I'm not someone like walks around with blinders on and says, "Oh, everything's going to be just fine." No, I'm. I'm sorry. I've never been like that. All right. I mean, anyone talking about the Kings right now in the national media about, oh, look out, they're going to be really good this year? Is anyone even talking about the Kings in the national media? No. No. Why? Because there's nothing to really talk about. There's really nothing to talk about. Now, could that change? Of course it could change. But, you got to be realistic about this. I'll tell you when the national television schedule comes out in August, the Kings aren't going to be on national TV very much. That's a signal of how the league thinks they're going to be. They will not be on national TV very much. They just won't. As far as, you telling me such a disappointment, anyone that commits a violent crime, that's disappointing to me. The fact that it's an athlete who played in the NBA doesn't change the fact that it's more of a disappointment or less than a disappointment. Like, I don't like look at criminal acts and then characterize one more disappointing than the other because of an individual's occupation. I never have. I mean, I don't know what else to say on that. National media only reports bad news on the Kings. We know that. No, no, no. That's not true. They report what's actually going on, which is normally negative. So it appears that it's only negative news when 95% of the time, that's what's going on in Sacramento. It's not that they're reporting only negative news, it's that only negative news is happening most of the time. You understand the difference? I mean, do you understand the difference? I would hope so. Seriously. One game on NBA TV? No, they'll have many games on NBA TV, but probably only one game on the whatever the hell the new. I don't even know who the hell's televising the games anymore. But like one game on ESPN, one game on the other, whatever the hell it is. So that's what I think. They're not going to be on very much. They're just not. San Antonio's going to be on all the time. We know that, right? LeBron's going to be on all the time. Steph's going to be on all the time. Oklahoma City's going to be on a lot. Cooper Flagg's going to be on a lot. Obviously Luka with LeBron. That's how that's going. All right. There may be no games on NBA TV with the new media. Well, whatever. I don't know what game. I'm just. Let me rephrase what I said. The Kings are not going to be on national TV very much. All right? They're just not. Thank you, Paul, right? Forget about the new TV thing. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I hope Dennis has a better mindset than when he said this last season. It's modern slavery at the end of the day. Everybody can decide where you're going. Does he want to be here? Well, first of all, he definitely does want to be in Sacramento. He's already come out on social media and put out a very nice kind of introduction. That comment was very unfortunate that any athlete that plays professional sports, who makes millions of dollars, who, by the way, all vote and ratify on the collective bargaining agreement as far as the way the league conducts their business via trades and everything. If that's modern day slavery, sign me up for it. I'll be happy to be a modern day slave if that's the definition of modern day slave. If you want to pay me millions of dollars and have me start my life in Atlanta, where he started, and then I get a call in the morning as I'm going to the gym or whatever, saying that I got 48 hours that I've just been traded to Houston, that's fine. I'll sign up for that. Now, do I understand that at times it's difficult when you have a wife and kids like Dennis? Yes, of course I do. Of course I do. But I also understand the trade-off. And I think that almost all of us would sign up for 30, 50, 70, $100 million, also knowing that I may have to work in 4 or 5 different cities over the course of receiving that money. Yeah, I'll sign up for that. Oh, and by the way, I don't have to work for 5 months out of the year. Whoa, 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 what? You're going to pay me $50 million and I don't have to work for 4 or 5 months out of the year? Really? Wow. That's modern day slavery? Please give it to me. Good Lord. Incredible. Somebody said it will cost more than $500,000 a year to watch, or $500 a year to watch all NBA games next season. I have no idea. I have no idea. Is there anybody, by the way, that would not sign up for that modern day slavery, as Dennis Schroeder made the analogy of being traded? He was traded twice last year, by the way, and I understand that he is a family man. I think he has 3 children and his wife, and I understand that logistically for a wife that is extremely challenging. I get that. I acknowledge that. I've lived through that with a lot of players. I understand. But I don't see any players quitting their job because it's too difficult. Like I haven't seen a player go, you're going to trade. I'm just going to stop. I don't need to work anymore. Unbelievable. Hey, Jackson, I'm going to give you a warning right now because you're fairly new to the stream, I think, unless you're just a troll. I don't like a lot of your comments that I'm seeing, and I will block you. So, like, if you're going to come on and you're going to be an idiot, I'm going to block you. All right? Everyone would sign up for that type of money. Getting traded is part of the NBA. Nobody is complaining with that type of money. I would hope not. All right? I would hope not. I would hope not. All right? I really would. Like what would you complain about? Huh? Seriously, what would you complain about? Like what could you possibly complain about? You know? What would you possibly complain about? So, goodbye, Jackson. You're gone. Do you remember Beno Udrih? Beno is a very good friend of mine. I love Beno. We used to go out to dinner often and hang out with Beno. I'm a big Beno Udrih fan. Good person. Very good person. And I'm happy. He's coaching now, and I'm very happy for him. I'm a big fan of his. Good guy. Really good man. Love Beno Udrih. That soft lefty touch. Love Beno. Love this game, too. Hey, don't forget about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. Go to CalusaSunrise.com and check out everything with Sunrise Landing, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Beautiful models with no Mellorews and no homeowners. Easy access to I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20. It's all there for you at beautiful Sunrise Landing. Go to CalusaSunrise.com. That's CalusaSunrise.com and Sunrise Landing. Rhino tomorrow, 3 o'clock. We'll have the one and only Jerry Reynolds on. So make sure you check that out. All right. What affiliate is carrying the Kings this year? The same as last year. Jones can be closer to home, or Jonas can be closer to home and make more money. It's not about, first of all, he has a contract, and it might be very expensive for the team in Greece to buy out that contract, and it may keep them away. So, we'll see. People were quick to say Ace Bailey is a bust in game 1, but he's looked very good tonight. I haven't been watching. Danny Ainge doesn't make a lot of mistakes with draft picks. That's all I'll say. What was my favorite NBA arena for calling a game besides Sacramento, and which was the worst? Clearly, Madison Square Garden was the best, and the worst was when the Clippers played at the LA Sports Arena. God, that was horrible. Just awful. That was just terrible. Before that, if I didn't include Madison Square Garden, the old Chicago Stadium when Michael Jordan played before they moved into the current United Center, that was probably the best. With not including the LA Sports Arena, I'd have to think about that because I used to work in a lot of the old buildings that don't exist anymore, and there were some bad ones. There were some bad ones with no atmosphere. I'd have to think about that. It's a good question. What about trades? Danny was trying too hard for those first round picks and only got 1 second-round pick. Well, you can't get what someone's not willing to give you. All right. You can't make a trade with yourself. It takes two. All right. How do I like Portland as an NBA city? Portland seems to have degenerated a lot as a city. Portland used to be great, and now it's an absolute dump. Like Seattle is a dump. San Francisco is a dump. All of those cities. It's such a shame. Seattle is just an absolute embarrassment. Seattle to me used to be one of the best cities in the world. I wouldn't even go to Seattle right now. Love when I did my show courtside. I love that too. All right. Since I've been to Thailand a few times, have you tried the papaya salad? Yeah, of course. But I don't do it with very spicy. I don't care for the. I can't do it. It burns my tongue. I start sweating. Seriously, I can't do it. So I go. If I go there, I go my pet. I mean, it's not spicy. But seriously, I mean, it's a shame what's happened to Portland. Downtown Portland, like it's scary walking around downtown Portland now. Downtown Seattle, I mean, good Lord. Well, it's the same with Sacramento. You go walk downtown Sacramento lately. Do I think Oklahoma City will be sold and back to Seattle? No chance. What a stupid question that is. I was going to mention the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio. It was. I thought about that. I thought about saying the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio, but it was right downtown, which I liked. It had a really good atmosphere in it. And so I didn't include that. But yeah, I announced games there. I actually enjoyed it. All right. Do I wish I never responded to DeMarcus? I would have responded to anybody that asked me that question the exact same way. Wasn't DeMarcus. I would have responded to anyone that way. You want the spiciest food you can handle? Come to Thailand. You want the sweat and tears flowing? Come to Thailand. Go over there, make the trip, go over to Thailand. All right. What was the reason I moved out of Sacramento? It was time for a move. It was just time for me to move. I wanted to experience a different culture. I didn't want to be, and again, I say this in all due respect. I love what I do. But, and again, I'm not, you know me, I very rarely talk about myself, but being a big fish in a small pond is not easy in terms of when you're in the public. If I go to the store, if I go to a restaurant, it's like you're always on and it's different. And I just had enough of that. Not that, again, I don't like talking to the fans. Anyone knows that comes up to me and talks to me wherever I'm at. I always engage in a conversation. I have no problem with that. But, you know, you can't let your hair down. I'll say that. You know, you're always on. You have people taking videos of you without you knowing. You have people taking a photograph of you without you knowing. I wanted to go to a place where I could be a private person, where nobody would know me. I hope that makes sense. All right. I hope that makes sense. How's the American Airlines Center in Dallas? Excellent. Good atmosphere. Very good. I think Switzerland is a good country to go to. I've been to Switzerland 10 times. I've been everywhere. It's probably, along with Thailand, not probably, they're my two favorite countries in the world. No doubt about it. Absolutely. Switzerland is a spectacular, spectacular country. Just great. Tell you what else is spectacular. The food at Bennett's, awesome. Whether it's the Sacramento, Roseville, or the West Side Grill location, prime seafood and steaks at Bennett's. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com, make a reservation, get out there and say hello to Brian and his great staff, either the Sacramento, Roseville, or the West Side Grill in Rockland. Bennett's, prime seafood and steaks, Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Don't forget, tomorrow at 3 o'clock, right here on If You Don't Like That, Jerry Reynolds will be on with Rhino in Sacktown. Yes. I do not stay in touch with Coase. I don't even know where he is, to be honest with you. All right. Other really good arenas in the NBA. Well, now there are so many new ones, but compared to the old ones, I miss the environment of the old buildings. Like the Chicago Stadium was great. You know, the Jazz, when that place is full, that's a phenomenal atmosphere. I don't even know what it's called now. But when Malone and Stockton played with Thurl Bailey and Mark Eaton, and that was a great, great, great arena to be in. Like, great. That was phenomenal. Man. Grant, you were the announcer for 30 years. What was some of the biggest differences between 1990 and 2020 in announcing? It's a very good question. The biggest difference was the information available because you had the internet to use, and the keeping of stats on press row became instantaneous. Scores from around the league, instantaneous. Just little things like that. Better camera angles. High definition was obviously the biggest difference. I mean, if you're talking about the number one difference, it would be high definition TV. I mean, you would start with that and then work your way down. But in terms of announcing a game was always the same. The only difference was you got better, or I thought I got better as I went on, because you become more experienced and you learn a lot. But the high definition TV for the viewers at home, I think, was probably the biggest difference when I started in '88. But in terms of announcing a game, like what I did, exactly the same. It's a good question. Very good question. Bottom line, it's a great job. It's a fun job. You know, I worked a lot of bad years. I mean, there are a lot of times when the Kings didn't even win 30 games, and you have to, you know, work as hard as you can to keep the fans interested and use your imagination and creativity with your analyst to have people watch when there's 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter and you're down by 40. And I think that was the biggest asset of working with Jerry, that I could always find humor even in the awful things, because Jerry's got a way about him, as you know, that would make you laugh. And I was blessed to have him for so long as my partner. It was great, as you well know. All right, don't forget, tomorrow, 3 o'clock, Jerry Reynolds. Yes, with Ryan in Sacktown. Tomorrow, I will be back at 8 o'clock right here on If You Don't Like That. What was Tyus Edney like? Great guy. Great guy. Love Tyus Edney. Man. Yes. I have been in touch with Vinny Del Negro. He's a friend of mine. Yes. Do I think that the skilled players got a lot better than the 90s to 220? No, I think that you can't compare different eras because they had different training regimens, all of that. I think if you took Bill Russell at age 21 right now, he'd be a great player in the NBA. Like, I think if you took Jerry West coming out of West Virginia right now and he was an NBA player, he'd be a perennial all-star. That's what I think. Period. All right? Period. All right, I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you all. 3 o'clock with Jerry Reynolds and Rhino, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8. Have yourself a good evening, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on If You Don't Like That. Bye-bye now.